And in the producer's cut of Halloween, you're actually in it as young Jamie in like a 10-second flashback scene in Halloween 3 seconds?
Because I'll tell you the story.
Yeah, I was like, why? How do you know that?
Please welcome, Silver Scream Con style, Danielle Harris and Scout Taylor-Compton.
Sandwich.
I will admit I've had this dream, so.
So has everybody else in this room.
Everyone.
I've had this dream. That's weird.
I saw someone yesterday. I don't know if this is official merch or not, so maybe I shouldn't bring it up. But I saw someone wearing a Straight Outta Compton shirt that
Fuck
says
yeah.
Taylor-Compton.
Yes.
Please tell me you're getting some of that.
Yes, I'm selling shirts and hats.
Yeah.
But I got an idea from actually a fan like 4 years ago that created that. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
How fucking awesome is that
Straight
shirt?
Outta Compton,
Yes.
Scout Taylor-Compton.
Yes.
I love it.
So yeah, we're gonna have a conversation and we'll take some questions from y'all.
Oh, you guys all look so fucking cute.
Everyone's all fresh.
I love it.
Yesterday there was a service dog dressed as Michael Myers.
What?
Yeah,
And it didn't come to my table?
I only heard about it. Yeah, right?
I would have flipped out.
But yeah, and apparently the same service dog will be dressed as Ghostface later. So.
Oh, cute. Love it.
Yeah. So, ladies, this is not the first Silver Scream Con for either of you.
Yeah, for Scout.
For me, it is. It's my first one.
Is it really?
Yeah, I was supposed to come last year, but I booked a
That's
film.
why.
I booked a movie.
And also, yeah, I'm used to seeing your name attached to everything, and you're part of Horrorwood, so
Yes.
I feel like you've been, your essence has been here.
Yes.
Spiritually, you've been.
Yes.
But now you're here in the flesh.
I love that. Spiritually, I've been in this room. I love it.
carry you with me wherever I go, Scout.
Thanks.
So I love doing this at Silver Scream Con. Who's at their first horror convention?
Oh, amazing. Little babies.
wow.
I love it. We popped your
Good for
fucking
you.
cherries.
Give yourselves a round of applause.
Ah, yeah. Ever. Oh my God. Welcome.
That's great.
Are you having a fucking blast? Yeah, that's right. Everybody needs to be her fucking friend. Everybody go, what's your name? Okay, everybody needs to go find Kristen. That's awesome.
So, one of my favorite things about your story is that you are one of the rare individuals who kind of bridges the gap between different iterations of the Halloween franchise. I'm often saying lately, like, it's crazy to live in a time when we've had 3 Halloween 2s. I have a feeling there will be a 4th Halloween 2 at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you of course were part of the original franchise and continuity, and somehow, unbeknownst to Mr. Zombie, ended up part of his. If you could tell us a little bit about your story and how you found your way into this whole
I
thing.
was at this convention center, ironically enough, for Rock and Shock. And a woman came up to me and she said, oh my God, I heard that they're doing a remake of Halloween. And I was like, oh, really? That's cool. I never heard that. You guys come to me with the most fucking crazy rumors anyway. I'm always like, I have no idea. You guys know more than me.
Crazy rumors, great shirt ideas.
Yes. And they said, and Rob Zombie is going to be directing it. I was like, holy shit, really? He said, yeah, and you're going to be Laurie. I was like, really? That's fucking weird. I gotta play my mother? I mean, I don't know about that. And then I got back home and I called my manager and I said, hey, they're doing another Halloween. Rob Zombie's directing it and I would love to have a cameo. Like anything, I just would love to meet him and be on set. And then she managed to talk them into just having me audition for a character. And my mother's texting. Fucking A.
Speaking of mothers.
It's like she knows.
She heard you.
Fuck. Who listens to our podcast? Okay.
Yeah, see?
Thanks, guys. So you know the story.
You should look at the anxiety right now. It's just hitting her.
What?
It's okay. It's
Handle
okay.
it yourself,
it's okay.
Mom.
Give me your phone.
So anyway, we managed to coerce casting to bring me in to just audition. It was like, just get me in the room. And then I was obviously never going to play Laurie. And
What did you audition for?
For Annie.
Oh, for Annie, always.
Yeah, always,
okay.
always Annie. Cool. But it was like, well, there's nudity. I was like, oh, whatever. And it was also a way of like, I loved what Rob did with women and how he always sort of allows us to be natural and real, and how he shoots it. It's not about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this would be cool. I mean, maybe you guys will see me as a different character now, like as an adult, kind of, to kind of change but I'll always be Jamie. No matter what I do, I'll always be Jamie. And I went and I auditioned. If you guys, has anyone ever seen the outtakes on, I think it's is it the first one? There's like all the extra footage of our auditions and stuff. So I didn't know they were going to do that. So when it came out and I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed, because you feel so stupid in that room.
Yeah.
You're standing behind like a curtain and you have to act like someone's trying to kill you, and you're like running in place.
When you saw what I was wearing,
what were you wearing?
I don't know what the fuck I was wearing.
Oh, but you were only...
Dude, I was wearing
a
Ugg boots
baby.
with a dress that I just found at a Goodwill like an hour before the audition. I convinced my dad to go to Goodwill because when my mom put me in, I was like, I'll never book the fucking job in this outfit. And then I was like in a short like dress on the floor screaming and trying not to flash Rob. I was like, this is the worst idea I could have done. Funny.
So I ended up just, going in and doing the audition, and then found out that, Rob liked me. And I think the rumor is that he was in the other room. So like, he doesn't like to see people in the room when you audition. He wants to see what you look like on the monitor, so he doesn't get like swayed to cast you, because he loves you in person. So he wants to see what you guys are going to see for the first time and see how that goes. And I ended up just getting the job and was kind of shocked. And I didn't know the story until I got the job and then got the script. I remember like couldn't wait to read through it, and then at one point went, oh my God, I thought I was going to die in the laundry room, right? Like the original. And I couldn't believe that Annie survived. And,
I wonder if that was because you were cast.
Oh, maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Annie fucking died. But I think once you were cast, I think...
That would be a good question for Rob.
Let's call him.
Hang on.
Hey, so we have a question for you. Hey, he'd be like, hello.
He wouldn't answer the phone.
Like, hello?
He'd be like, straight to voicemail. These bitches.
These
won't leave me
bitches.
alone.
I believe he is on tour right now. So.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he just played here.
Yeah.
We always miss
that's
him.
Right.
We always miss him. Tyler went and saw him last night in Atlanta.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did we all see Tyler Mane in Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah.
So good,
His
right?
3-second. Dude, I fucking bought a ticket to go watch that fucking movie. He did not tell me that he was going to die in like 5 seconds.
Now you know how they all feel
was
when they
great.
go to our movies and we have one scene, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I fucking bought this dumb DVD because your name was above the title and you're in 2 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't make that happen.
Excuse me, I have one line in Welcome to Horrorwood. Thank you.
Yes.
There are no small parts.
It's
only
true.
Small
That's
parts.
right.
That's true.
right.
That's true. So I was happy to be back, obviously.
But Rob didn't realize, right, that you were part of the original
Oh,
series.
yeah. No, he knows.
But, well, I mean, by now. But when you were auditioning, he wasn't quite aware.
Oh, yeah. He didn't want anyone. He knew and didn't want anyone that was in any of the other Halloweens.
Yeah.
So casting, like, snuck me in just to kind of be like, maybe he will overlook what he wanted. I'm sure everybody found out that he was doing it and was calling him, is what I think. And he was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with anybody. I don't want anybody in any of their Halloweens. Nobody's coming back. I'm starting over. And I snuck my way in there, so.
Yeah, and we were very happy that you
Yeah.
and you lived to tell about it.
You know, Scout and I, we did our podcast at the gas station last weekend, and it was for the first time we watched both Halloweens together. We've never seen them together except for the premiere, which we weren't even sitting next to each other.
But we weren't friends then, so.
Bitter enemies, in fact. And that's what I wanted to ask about next.
Well, we're friends now.
So,
More than friends.
Scout, let's talk about your...
Yeah.
Sorry, let me take a pause for that. Let's talk about your entry into...
I don't mean that.
You said it. I know what you're talking about.
It was, it was the same thing. But mine was a little bit more of going back and going back and going back and going back. I auditioned so many times. I mean, they had, so I've heard from Rob, he made offers to girls that the the Weinsteins wanted, but that he knew weren't going to be available, because apparently I was the first self-tape that he watched.
When you say girls that the Weinsteins wanted.
I know. Fuck, that sounded weird. But, well, now we know why. I mean, but yeah, so apparently I was the first self-tape that he saw, and he was like, that's Laurie. But the producers did not want me, so I had to literally fucking fight for this role. And I remember my last screen test with the girls, and I remember going, and everybody was, we were a week or two out from fucking filming, and they still hadn't cast their Laurie. And I remember going, and there was a big board of everybody's headshots, and then mine being right in the fucking middle. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh my God, it's is this it? Am I going to get this thing? And I had to do a screen test with both the girls, and it was just pulling teeth, man. But Rob really fought for me. He really, really fought for me. And Dee Wallace was actually the first fucking person to tell me when I got my first day in the job, I got in the van, and she goes, wow, Rob really fought for you. I was like, thanks.
You're like, I think that's good.
I think is that a compliment? I don't know. Is that what is this? Yeah.
So when you come on board, obviously horror franchises in general at this point in all of our lives are known for having sequels and being serialized storytelling even sometimes. Was there a plan or conversation during the first one that there would most likely be a second one, or was it just kind of we don't know if this is gonna be a one and done remake?
No, there wasn't any talks about doing a second one, but I think because of all the fun that we had, we really became a fucking unit and a family on that. Rob and all of us, we really bonded on that first one. And I think, the second one, he wrote it for us. Mm-hmm. He our person, he got to know us. Yeah, he got to know us.
I think that's why the characters were so different also in the second one. They felt more like us.
100%.
You're a little
I was spiraling back then, okay? I was going through a breakup. I was spiraling. I was a different person. But yeah, no, I don't think so. I think the only thing that we knew was when we did the second one that there was potential of doing a third, and then it kind of just fell through.
So going into that second one, you mentioned just now that he was now sort of writing more towards you because he knew you better. What do you think were some of those things about your individual personalities that found their way into the script that we may not realize watching it are the real you?
I was a young adult. I was trying to find my identity, which is what Laurie was doing the entire time, and that was what I was doing. I was a punk rock emo fucking kid, trying to sort my feelings and figure out and I was becoming a woman at the same fucking time. I was spiraling, and I also was, I was auditioning for the Runaways then. So I think there were so many different things that were going in my circle. So that's kind of how I identified a Laurie. I was kind of developing into, and learning things, and yeah, that's kind of my little.
Can we take a beat for the Runaways, by the way? Not only the actual band, but that film.
Dude, Rob was so fucking supportive. He was so supportive when I was auditioning for that job. He got me a guitar teacher that taught Alice Cooper and shit. He was playing the Runaways songs on set. He was like, we're gonna manifest this fucking shit and you're gonna book it. And I did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How about you? What were some things about you that you think found your way into that character?
I think it just she felt more mature in the second one. And I think, when I did the first one, I was 30, playing 16, 17.
That's crazy because you're only 32 now.
Yes. Exactly. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't look miscast against a real 17-year-old, and it played great. A lot of directors ask.
I was 19.
You were 18. You were 17.
I was 19 on the second one. I was 19.
Turned 18 on the set. So I was like, oh God, how do I don't want to dumb her up, but I can have fun and play and be a little bit more free and goofy, which is not necessarily who I am. I can be that way, and I've grown to become that way more as I've gotten older once I've had kids, but I was a little bit more Annie in the second one, a little bit more of like the mom character, the caretaker, making sure everyone's like good and, not fucking up, and the protector. So I think I was like, oh good, I can just be me in this one. I don't have to sort of lighten myself up. We just watched it. Yeah, I said to her after watching the second one, I was like, God, you fucking worked hard. Like you worked hard in these movies.
You did too, man.
Not as hard as you, but holy shit, they put us through the ringer in that's for sure.
I have a funny story. I wanted to be Danielle's friend so fucking bad. I wanted her to like me so fucking bad. So bad that I planned I was also very insecure, and I was like, how do I ask her to have a sleepover with me to watch movies and like paint each other's nails and like gossip? So I was like, hey, can I like come over and like, stay over? And I was like, okay. And then she said yes. I was like, oh my God, cool. We get to have a sleepover. Like she's going to finally be my friend.
And what era was this?
This is part of the second one.
This is after
the second one.
Yeah.
And I came to her house. I brought all my stuff. And then she goes, oh yeah, okay, cool. She showed me where everything was, and she's like, okay, cool. I'll probably be back really, really late. I was like, oh. She like had a date. I was like, oh. She thought that I just needed a place to crash.
I didn't know. She didn't tell me. I just thought I knew she lived far.
Guys, could you imagine?
I was like, of course, yeah.
Could you imagine? And I'm just like in her house by myself, like, okay.
I swear to God.
She didn't want to have a sleepover with me.
I had no idea. And I didn't even know until like a decade later.
Oh, yeah. Fuck no, was I going to tell you?
Obviously, I just needed a place to stay.
I came home and snuggled you.
I was just about to say, what did you do?
She went through my underwear.
I was such a loser. I didn't do anything. I just like probably cried. I probably was like...
Did you want to go through my shit?
No.
I would have gone through your shit.
You didn't open the medicine cabinet or?
No, I didn't do anything. I was so pathetic. I just sat on the couch. Like, I didn't do anything. I watched movies by myself. I did what we were supposed to do together.
Could you imagine I come home and she's like sitting in my underwear on the couch?
I'm saying. And yes, I think everyone's imagining it already. So.
Now you wear my bras in it. Not my
I should give you back your bras.
I did. Once I got my boobs done, I gave her all my bras.
Yeah, you did.
So where did this friendship and bond that we see before us now that became this podcast?
You're Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. And Brian Collins.
Yes.
I would say they're both icons.
Get it, Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan. There, look, Ryan's hiding.
A producer on the current, recent Halloween films.
Yeah.
They run Blumhouse.
Yeah, run Blumhouse, guys.
Well, let's see.
Everyone leaves to go give their script to those guys.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you guy got a movie idea.
They don't buy them. I've tried to sell them, bring shit to them. They're not. Yeah, good luck.
They don't buy anything. They don't buy anything.
To Blumhouse.
So Danielle used to. Well, she still does. She was hosting these like movie watch parties.
It was basically COVID.
Yeah.
And I was stuck in my house with 2 young children and my mother and my sister and my husband. And I was like, I have to talk to someone else. And I was like, well, maybe I can. I'm not savvy with social media stuff really. So I was like, oh, maybe I can create content, whatever that means. So I realized, like, over the years of doing this, all my friends are, famous genre actors, but I don't really know a lot of their movies. Or I know some, but not all. And so I started inviting people over. Actually, I had them go get COVID tested around, a couple minutes away. And once they passed their COVID test, they came over and we sat on the couch in my office and we watched movies. And I didn't tell them what we were going to watch until they got there. And we recorded it. We just watched movies together. And we watched Halloween 2018 together because neither one of us had seen it. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of get our perspective and see what it was like. So she came over and we just were like best friends. And the rapport between the two.
I fucking saw it.
I know.
Yeah. You were an early
on her couch by myself.
And then my husband said like, you guys have a great, you guys should do something. And we didn't really listen to podcasts, didn't really know necessarily like what that looked like. And so we were like, yeah, we'll just create stuff and get to hang out and
Yeah, and I really loved like Dr. Drew Loveline. And I'd been thinking about that for a while. I'm like, there's nothing like that for like women and shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're very similar when we love true crime.
Shout out Dr. Drew and Psycho Mike.
Yeah. So we're like, there's not a platform for like sex talk and like love like shit. Like I was like, we should do it. Let's do that mixed with like true crime and everything that we love to talk about.
Listen, you know, many people
what
have
Talk Scary Me is.
How many people have come up? And also as a way for like you guys to get to know us on a different level, like a personal side of us that we hadn't really shown before.
Yeah.
And then it makes for better conversation when you come to the table. You can actually, like, so many women come up, and a woman came up to me today, I don't know if she's here. If she's here, don't raise your hand. And she was like, you've saved me. My husband thanks you for all the advice you've given me. Like, you've totally helped my relationship. I'm like, I love that.
It's really cool that, like, a lot of people come to our table and, like, ask us advice on stuff, and it's not just, like, Halloween. It's really nice that we get to like talk about life. You know, I love it. I love it.
Amazing.
And we realize we have more in common than we thought.
I knew it.
Well, she knew.
She knew. Because we didn't, once we started the show, we were just new friends. So we got to know each other over the years through our podcast.
Now I know more about you.
I know
than
more about
anybody else.
Well, they all know as much as you do now.
So when we talk about podcasts now, once upon a time you could name every podcast.
Yeah.
And now everyone has a podcast.
Yes.
I know.
What does it take to sort of, I mean, obviously you found a very great kind of hook. There's a premise. I find that shows like yours where you can explain what it is in a couple sentences tend to work the best. Mm-hmm. What have you learned about kind of cutting through the noise and finding an audience? And
if you find out, let us know. It's hard, man. It's a lot of fucking work. We're still trying to figure it out. But the one thing about Danielle and I is we don't plan anything that we talk about. We literally have nothing planned, but like I think that's the beauty of it. Yeah. Like shit just comes out. We just have natural chemistry together and different outlooks and different opinions that it just works. But dude, the podcast world it's brutal. It's really brutal.
It's like being a musician. We're like selling our CDs out of our car.
Literally, that's what it feels like. I'm like, will you buy it? Will you listen to it?
I mean, they literally. We have like my whole living room is set up with like T-shirt and hat presses.
Yeah.
Just because we believe in it and we have fun doing it. So I think that's what keeps it going. And people listen. So that makes me super happy.
I think now that we've found like that we can do lives and do like Talk Scary to Me lives and bring it to like horror conventions, and we're trying to do it outside of the horror conventions. I think that's where like the energy is, Then we see like what we're doing together alone and posting on podcasts like really is landing. Yeah. And like it's that feedback connection with like fans and stuff.
Did anyone listen to the Daniel Roebuck one we did this week?
Oh, yeah, that was sentimental, man.
I mean, like, that's a perfect example of someone that you know for a long time and know their work, but don't really know them. And to be able to sit down and have that, like, real, authentic, organic conversation where you almost forget you're being recorded and all. I mean, we didn't come with a list of questions. We're like, IMDb, right before he's like, literally, we have 3 minutes. What does he do? Oh, shit. We'll talk about that. And then nothing gets talked about that we look up, and it just becomes a real conversation.
Stop giving away all my secrets.
It makes it easy because we know these people on a different level. So I feel like we get we have a different conversation than I think they're used to giving.
More as peers and contemporaries than other situations. Yeah, it's why it's great to listen to like directors interviewing directors.
Yes, and we're not afraid to ask the questions like, do you have sex toys? I mean, I wanted to know.
That's usually my first question, oddly enough.
Or just whatever funny, goofy stuff, things that are like, I don't know, I love all those random questions. I want to know the funny stuff. I don't want to know the stuff that we've heard 100 times.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of the things that I love and why I keep repeating it every year, and every year it's been true, that there are so many new faces at Silver Scream who aren't horror convention regulars, who will probably become horror convention regulars via this one, but you haven't heard all the same stories. And I see the excitement in the different horror icons that we bring to this show, where they're like, oh, we're talking to new people. No offense to all of us who've been going to the shows a lot. But it's just a different energy, and the exchange here is amazing.
But it's also cool, man. It's cool to see that. Like, this will forever, I mean, the point is to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bring more people in and like, not let this die, you know?
Well, you know from being there the first year, I mean, look at this room.
I know.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's amazing.
It's so cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And speaking of that exchange with all of you lovely, scary, spooky people, we have a microphone today.
Oh, yeah.
No one's going to get it.
After the third or fourth time, Sean Cunningham asked me, what did you say?
That's fucking scary, man. Right in the middle of the room, you got to get up and walk.
You gotta get
That's
up.
how I felt sitting on fucking Danielle's couch. Bro.
So all of your couch questions are now. So we have this microphone. Don't be shy. Step on
no
up
one
if you
is
have
going
a
to
question.
get that.
No one is going to get up and walk to that microphone. She's like, I'll just raise my hand.
You gotta make it to the microphone now.
Yes.
You
We're having a
can
little
do
line.
it. You can do it.
And I'm going to preface this with just a couple of things. Start by telling us your name and where you're from. Please keep it to one question. And can I have a hug, and will you marry me?
Fuck, marry, kill.
Don't ask me those two.
So, my name is Josh. I'm from Massachusetts here, local. And I just want to give a question to both of you. Rob's Halloween 2, I'm one of the best Halloweens in my opinion.
Amazing.
And you two are like a big reason for that. Like, I think your performances are incredible in that. I just want to ask, it's a very emotional film. Was that difficult shooting like those like extreme scenes? Like, I mean, your murder scene, like a lot of your meltdown scenes. Was that really like taxing on both of you, or was it just like another day of the job for both of you?
It was fucked up for her. I mean, I was just laying there half dead. She had to do all the heavy lifting. I mean, for me, actually, that's an interesting question. And I've only realized it as I've gotten older. I feel like when I always had to kind of disconnect a little bit when those scenes happened, and I was sort of doing my job and can kind of snap out of it. I think as I've gotten older and real, true, organic trauma I've worked on and has come up through those scenes, it's a little bit harder to shake off now. Also, I'm doing movies now where I have kids, and like there's just different elements to it. But it was hard to have that moment with her, especially being covered in blood and being naked and vulnerable. And, you know, the scene was written, we shot the scene different than it was written, which is also great, and it made it even that much more impactful, but it messed her up.
Yeah, I went back to the couch by myself. Just kidding.
And then now, can you imagine now doing that, what that would be like?
We're about to.
I know.
I'm a Pisces. I'm very like empathetic. I have a hard time shaking my feelings off. So, and I started at such a young age, and I had kind of a really rough childhood, and I use acting as like fucking therapy for me. So those scenes, it's really genuine feelings that I'm feeling that I'm trying to like, you know, release or whatnot. And, you know, obviously I looked up to her so much. So yeah, that scene was really rough for me to film. It was really hard to shake off any of the emotional scenes, but really that one, because I really looked up to her and I connected to her. But like I said, during that time, that period in my life, I was transitioning and I was also in a really tough relationship. So there was a lot that I was shedding as Laurie was shedding. So I think I was very connected with Laurie, as much as I'd probably like to be like, I'm fine, I'm tough, bleh. But I was really cracking during that time in my life. So I think it fucking shows in the movie. Yeah, that scene was really rough. When I remember filming that, and Rob likes to do this beautiful thing where he will keep the camera rolling for a very fucking long time. Like, so you'll be sitting there like crying and hyperventilating, and I remember I couldn't knock it off. I couldn't get out of it, and I had to run downstairs, and I was like hyperventilating, and the first person I saw was Tyler, and he got me out with a joke. So I mean, it was like I said, going back, it was like a family. So when you're seeing these things and it's so realistic, and Rob is so detailed, it's hard to like separate yourself. I was really young, so I wasn't like Danielle that was able to like separate the two. I was learning
Danielle
how to
was
do that.
also really young.
Yes, but she had more years experience, on me. So I was just now learning how to separate and not be a fucking basket case.
It's hard, you guys. Your body doesn't.
Great question, by the way.
Your body doesn't know that you're acting. You know, so you have to imagine and there's no rehearsals for that stuff. You can sort of walk through and talk about what's going to happen, and you're going to be here and just going to come in here. But then once they set everything in the door, and then we don't know if the door is going to come off the hinges. And, and of course it wasn't even. They didn't even strike the door. So Taylor was like,
actually,
one more
trying
time,
to hit a fucking door down.
Rob, I'm going to kill you.
And there's nobody afterwards that's like, I'm going to hold you.
Yeah.
And are you okay? You have to go fucking film another scene.
Job,
you have to literally go do another scene, which is probably going to be a happy scene. So you got to fucking make sure you're not like, it's crazy.
Everyone's like, are you good? Are you good?
I'm like, yeah, I'm great. I'm really great. What are we doing now?
We have intimacy coordinators now. Can we get after
Dude,
care?
Danielle and I talk about this
Aftercare
fucking
people on
shit
set?
all the time. We talk about this for children.
All the time.
For the
We talk about
kids
this.
that are fucking dealing with this stuff. Can you imagine Danielle, in Halloween 4 and 5, carrying a knife and no one explaining to you what the fuck is going on? You're that's
True.
crazy. That's when your
Yeah.
development is happening. Yeah. So for kids, there's, I was a child actor too. It's wild. You develop those things.
I never thought about that notion too, that your body doesn't understand.
Yeah.
No, you're fight or flight every single day.
All the time.
It does a really big toll on you, and you don't realize it until you're older.
But it's fucking fun, and we'll do it over
That's
and over
right.
and over again.
And that was a very insightful question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now the pressure's on for you to ask a question of equal stature.
This is going to be much lighter. My name is Craig. I'm from Rochester,
Hi, Greg.
New Hampshire. I'd just like to thank you guys for covering me in blood yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I have a couple small questions, a fun antidote, a fun convention experience, and how comfortable was Danielle's couch?
Very comfortable.
It was IKEA. It was awful.
It was IKEA.
Fucking awful.
Everything was IKEA.
Everything
Did
was
you have
IKEA.
to build it?
Yeah, I was just doing labor at her house while she was gone. I was patching some walls. I was ironing some clothes. I was doing her laundry.
No, she wasn't. She doesn't do laundry.
No, I don't do any of that. That's funny.
No, thank you very much.
Amazing, thank you. Bring the light mood. I love it.
All right. My name is Kevin.
Hi.
I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And this one is for Danielle.
Yeah.
It's about actually one of your non-horror movies.
Okay.
Wish Upon a Star. Wild
The
Thornberrys.
Last Boy Scout. Yes. Between your role in The Last Boy Scout and Angry Rice's in The Nice Guys, how much would you like to see Shane Black direct a Nancy Drew movie?
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
That'd be sick.
Anything Shane does is amazing. I mean, that movie, Last Boy Scout still holds up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of Bruce's best movies,
Yeah.
but that was like his time.
Yeah,
you know what I
especially
mean?
now that gambling's being legalized.
Yeah. I think, I mean, who here has seen The Last Boy Scout?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
I rewatched it during the pandemic, speaking
You
of
did.
pandemic
It's
watch
so
parties.
good. I just wish, I almost wish I would have known how cool it was to work on a movie like that. Because, so I have a funny story in my audition. So the third and final audition for that movie, I went in and it was, Jill Silver, the producer, and Tony Scott, the director, and Bruce, and myself. And I went in and I read the scene where I'm sitting on the couch and I'm calling him an asshole. So that was my audition scene. And when I was done, he said to me, what's your relationship like with your dad? In real life, my dad had passed, and I had a stepdad that I didn't get along with. So I was like, my dad's an asshole. And then he kind of smirked, and then he said, what was your favorite movie of mine that I was in?
No way.
He did.
He asked you that?
He did.
Holy balls.
And you said Moonlighting.
I said Moonlighting because I like Sybil Shepherd. because I'd never seen any of his movies.
I mean, why would you have
12,
at that point? Yeah.
You know, or 13.
Yeah,
so he was
Die Hard.
like, "You are a little bitch," and I was like, "Oh my god, I think I just got this role." So it was, and then at some point, I think like day one or something, he made some comment about like, "Don't upstage me," and I remember my mom being like taking it seriously, like, "You cannot upstage him."
Oh my God.
I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh
I
my
think he was
God.
being funny, you know, he wasn't being serious. But that was really Tony Scott was one of the most amazing men, and I just loved him, and I loved Damon Wayans, and I just had a great time working on that movie. I didn't know how lucky I was until years later.
Peace.
Peace.
Oh, bye. So
Hello.
cute. Hi.
I'm Angela. I'm from
Hi,
Connecticut.
Angela.
Hi.
And I love Rob Zombie. I feel like you either get him or you don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. And I feel like a lot of people complained about the fact that they gave Michael Myers a backstory, which I didn't think detracted from it. But
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys thought that added or detracted from the scariness of the film. Because I didn't think that it did, but that's like the biggest complaint that I get of still liking the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the only complaint,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Then we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think
And
we're
they say he
good.
puts his wife too much, but I love Sherry Moon. I want her more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman.
Dude, their love story is bonkers.
Yeah.
It's so cute to watch them on set be so fucking romantic. Blech. I'm like, you guys are so cute.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're so cute, and she's so
Yeah.
beautiful, and I love
I mean,
that.
I think that both movies were great.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you go back and rewatch them now, maybe they'll sit a little bit differently.
I think they're sitting a little bit different now. I think people are
Yeah.
going back and watching. But honestly, that storyline and the backstory of Michael was my favorite part of the fucking movie.
I liked it too. So I
mean, I know I'm in the other part,
Yeah.
but like I loved it. I think Dag was amazing. I remember sitting in the theater and watching that first kill, and
Oh my God,
that's
yeah.
still my favorite kill.
And I love his angles, like the way he shoots down.
Yeah.
Her,
He
you know, when
shoots
he's
with like
dragging her. and
3
stuff.
cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he always hides one. I never knew. Like I remember I did one scene I did, and I like ran around the corner. And normally, like you're just like you're hiding, you know, you don't want to be seen. And then I looked, and I was like, oh fuck,
There's a
there's
camera.
a camera right in the fucking closet. You didn't tell me the camera's in the closet. God, so he'd like place things places to get all of those really cool angles.
Yeah.
You know, and not have to do the scene 100 times because he's got a bunch of different coverage. So he's
Right.
dope like that.
And the movie kind of needs a reason to exist, right? If you're going to remake such an iconic
Yeah, I thought it was
and
an
that was my
interesting
original
thing.
thought was, well, you got to take a different angle and show us something we haven't seen before. And certainly that was...
He understood the assignment.
Yes.
You look so cute, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you see Beetlejuice? Did you like it?
Don't tell me anything. I haven't seen it.
So I can't wait to see it.
How many of you guys have seen Strange Darling? Okay, yeah. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Hi.
Hi, my name is Anne Marie. I'm also from Connecticut, and thank you both for coming. So excited and have a very special place because you're both part of my favorite horror franchise in your own ways. My question is actually for Scout. Being that you came into this iconic role of Laurie Strode, and both, you know, just as Jamie Lee Curtis being introduced to, you know, the masses in that role. At any point during either your preparation or your shooting that first movie, did you either reach out or were you ever contacted by Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh, no. I had tried to meet her so many times. I mean, I grew up in a mortuary. My dad's a mortician, so My Girl was like one of my fucking favorite movies. I was like, oh my God, anybody that I get to like, you know, be in play a role that was in that movie, I was just like so obsessed. We just met her at the last Halloween movie premiere. That was our first time, and we were very, very excited to meet her. It didn't go as we thought it was gonna go, but I'll still fucking watch all her Freaky Friday movies and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I had not met her.
Was there any disappointment in that? Because I hear some comments in the back. I happen to be a huge fan of Jamie Lee Curtis, but I was surprised to hear you say that, this can be a simple yes or no answer from you, but I am a little surprised that, was it disappointing for you not to have that connection with her?
Yeah, I cried.
She actually cried.
I don't blame you.
But like everybody has a bad day or whatever.
She was
wasn't
exhausted too.
Yeah, it just wasn't the experience that we'd hoped for. But yeah, that's it.
Did you ever see the video of when Jerry Seinfeld meets Kesha?
No.
Oh fuck! I have seen that video.
But who do you?
It was
but
kind. Yeah,
who do
that's
you
funny.
sympathize
Wow.
with in that situation?
I've never seen it. Would it? Do I have to?
Doesn't go.
Oh my god, that is funny. That's literally was me. Oh my god, that's funny. Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
Kesha in that video.
But fuck, dude, I love her. I love her.
Yeah.
She literally is the fucking scream queen. Like
Yeah.
she fucking started this for all of us. Like she paved the way for women in this fucking genre. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I asked the question, and I am sorry for your experience.
It's okay.
I am glad I asked because I was very interested.
I do want to say something though. So her daughter heard our podcast, and we talked about our meeting with her and our disappointment, that we were so excited and we were upset and feelings hurt. We had this idea of what it would be like, and it wasn't that experience. And so her daughter had said, I heard this. So she actually Jamie contacted us on Instagram.
she slid in them DMs.
She slid into our DMs.
Nice.
That makes it all worth it. Just that right there.
I was like, holy.
That was very
Jamie
nice of her.
Curtis is fucking messaging me right now. And she just said, my daughter, told me this, and I apologize. I apologize for not knowing who you are. I had a lot going on. I had family and friends that I didn't even have time to talk to, and blah blah blah. And I was like, whatever. And then she asked, do I have kids? And I said, yes, I have 2 kids. And she wanted to know their names and where they lived, and it was like this whole thing. And she ended up sending me a big bag of all of her children's books that she wrote, and she autographed and signed them both, all to my. And actually, I just was reading one to my kid the other night, and I opened it up and realized that she had wrote everything on the inside. It was like, you are amazing, and then she would cross out you and wrote Jagger and Carter is amazing. Like, she took the time to personalize all of those to me to make up for it, and I thought that was really, really, really sweet of her. So
That's awesome.
She made it better. Everyone has a bad day.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My name is Michael. Sorry.
You kind of got a Tyler.
There's a lot of Michaels here. Trust me.
I am from Minnesota, and my question is for Danielle. Now, I watch a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and I watch a lot of Q&A panels, so I already know about the rejection you got for Halloween 6. But I'm not sure how many people know this. There's 2 different versions of Halloween 6, the theatrical cut and the producer's cut. And to my knowledge, up until 2015, the only way you could watch the producer's cut is via bootleg. And I think it was Scream Factory that made it official for the people to buy online. And in the producer's cut of Halloween, you're actually in it as young Jamie in like a 10-second flashback scene in Halloween 5. 3 seconds?
Because I'll tell you the story.
Yeah, I was like, why? How do you know that?
So my question is, were you at least paid or credited for that?
3 seconds.
Yes, I was actually paid.
She's paid for 3 seconds.
Exactly what I was asking for to be in Halloween 6.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait,
The
what?
$6,000 you asked for, you got paid for 3 seconds?
$3,000 I asked for.
Yeah, but the $1,500 they offered you as well. So.
Right. Well, yeah. So
I'm sorry. Are you an accountant? Or?
No, like I said, I watch a lot of Q&A stuff. I've heard this story about Halloween 6 a million times now.
So here's the story. I'll try to make it quick. So my agent called and said they've released a breakdown for Halloween 6 with your picture trying to find a lookalike to play Jamie. And we were like, what the fuck? Why didn't anybody call me? So that was weird, right? I was 16 or 17.
Which, by the way, the fact that they didn't want to hire you because you were a minor, yet they hired a child actor to play a different character anyway.
Yeah, but they want to work you. There's like so many rules and laws and things at that time.
But they sure changed that fast.
They did, right? And they wanted somebody over 18 to do that role. So when we found that, I was like, well, I'll get emancipated, which a lot of young actors do. You go in for the judge, and it's a whole thing. You have a lawyer, and you're like, I'm not going to not go to school. I'm going to still live home. Blah, 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 all this stuff. I'm going to be a good kid, even though I'm going to be a legal adult. So they can work you however long they want to work you. I don't have school. You don't have to do any of that stuff. So I, on my own dime, paid to go do all of this. It was a whole process, and I was in there with the guys and producers and the script, and everything was great. And Dan Farron's the writer's good friend. I was so excited it was all going to happen. And then negotiations started, and business affairs, who's really just someone that works in a studio that doesn't really know the relationships. They're just there to get you for the cheapest amount they could possibly get you for. And they offered me scale, which is like $1,500, and was
How
like, well,
crazy
shit, I
is
just
that?
paid
How fucked up is
$3,000.
that?
Yeah, because the last again, I watched a lot of Q&A panels, and you had said that for like 10 days work, they only offered you $1,500, and then you got 40% goes to taxes, 15 agent.
Of course, you end up paying out of pocket.
You're pretty much paying to be in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they take 15%, and then the government, everybody, all of a sudden you're like, you owe your agent at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, at least like I need to like.
You asked to
my
get
money
reimbursed
back,
for
you know
your
what I
legal
mean?
fees. Yeah.
And they said no.
Yeah.
So I said, well, then I'm not going to do it then. And they were like, and I remember them saying, your character's a scale character. You die in the first act. We're not paying her any more than $1,500. And I was like, well, then I'm not going to do it.
Good for you, though. Good for you, though, for
yeah, but
saying
I also
no.
But I didn't really mean I wasn't going to do it.
Oh.
I was like, of course they're going to
Demand your worth. Demand your worth.
I mean, it's like, well, even us when we do our movies, we're like, I'll give you my money. Like, we're doing our movie.
We're doing a movie and we're not making anything.
I'm giving all of our money we would
to
make
other
as
actors.
Director and as actors in it to other people because we don't have the money in the budget, but I still want to make sure they know how appreciated they are and their worth.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do it, and then which was fine, and I did think they'd come back, but they didn't. And then I started seeing changes in the script anyway, and I was like, I'm glad I'm not a part of this. So it is what it is. And then I saw that my friend, JC Brandy did it, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then I saw the movie, and I didn't understand the whole having Michael Myers' baby and all this stuff. But I have a theory. If I ever come back for another Halloween, I have a theory on what that, if they do that timeline, what that character. I'm thinking that wasn't really me. That's what I think. I think Loomis placed that girl there, and he has me hiding somewhere.
Oh, all right. So when the producer's cut was officially released, you got paid what you were asking for.
They
15 years later.
They came and they said to me, we want to use this clip from Halloween 4. It's 3 seconds, and my agent said $1,000 a second.
Fuck yeah.
And they gave me $3,000.
Yeah, get it.
But I would have just done the movie.
Hell yeah.
But I don't think I would have wanted to do the movie that we all saw.
Yeah. No.
So people, just crazy shit happens sometimes. But I don't think if I had done that, I would have been able to come back in Rob's.
True.
So I'm glad I did it that way.
All right. Thank you.
All things happen for a reason,
Crazy.
Hi, my name's Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
I'm from Mass. My question's for Danielle.
Cute shirt.
Thank you.
Great name.
Big fan. In Halloween 5, what are your opinions on Rachel dying off screen?
Oh, man. Ellie was so upset. Ellie was so
That broke my heart after seeing 4.
And disappointed, that they killed her that way. She was supposed to get the scissors down her throat.
Oh, that's cool.
That would have been a way cooler death scene.
She was like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, this is not, and I don't blame her. It was how I felt about how they killed Jamie in Halloween 6. Like, there's a better way to do it. So she took it to the chest, and I don't know. I love her so much that I felt like everybody was really disappointed in that they killed her. But I also love the Tina character. I know a lot of people were like, she's no Rachel, but I thought she was. Wendy Kaplan was so great, and I loved that relationship.
She didn't survive either,
too.
huh? I was upset that they both died.
I know.
They were both great screen
They're both
queens.
great, man. They're both great.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to reunite with Ellie one day.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
And I know there's 3 more of you, but this is probably going to have to be our last question.
Okay. Hello, my name's Jennifer. I'm from New Jersey. Welcome. My question's actually for Scout.
Yes.
And somebody already stole my question. It was about Jamie Lee.
Oh.
So I do give you a compliment because I really felt like you made it your own, and you really, you had big shoes to fill, but you were definitely successful and made it your own.
Thank you.
But my question is, what was the most challenging part that you had to play in the movie? Because there's physical demands and also emotional. So what comes to mind?
I think I'm a physical person anyways. I love I love, like, my dream role is to be like in the Alien franchise or like Resident Evil or something, kicking people's butts. I think the emotional part was really, really hard for me. I think because, like I said before, I connected so deeply with, Tyler Maine is like my second dad. Danielle is like my big sister. It's like Rob is like another dad. Like I really connected with these people. So watching them like get hurt, or I think that really was what was really challenging for me and really messed me up. I mean, watching her die, watching Bria die, I was literally watching my fucking friends die, and then they leave, and I don't get to play with them anymore. And I was like, okay, bye.
You have Michael to play with.
I was always, but I was annoying Tyler all the time.
The physical allows for the emotional to come out.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh, that.
That helps. Like when I was doing the floor scene and the first Rob's Halloween, I didn't want to be covered. There's something vulnerable about being able to use all of that stuff. We always say.
I know. I actually thought like, oh God, she has to lay there naked.
I know, naked. Yeah, that just adds to it.
Everyone wants to come over, and there's when Brad and Malcolm come in, and I'm like shaking and shivering. It's because I wanted to be left there with the door open. It was fucking freezing. And you're like, I can use all of this. Like this is how I would be if this was really happening. So it's hard to go in and out of that stuff. So the physical really helps with the emotional, and you don't know what's going to come up emotionally when you start doing that physical stuff. When someone's like throwing you around.
Yeah, that's why it helps. I mean, it's funny. Everybody's preparation for those scenes are so different. Like you'll see some people doing jumping jacks, or trying to get ready, or somebody's like screaming in the corner, like la la, like trying to get like it's
standing in the corner hyperventilating.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, that's me. That's me too. I'm very quiet. I like to hear noise and ruckus just to kind of like get into that
and also
zone.
Usually like it's mostly the final girls.
Yeah.
And the killer, right? So we don't ever really get to see any other actresses prepare for those scenes, because it always happens when they're alone with the killer. So it's cool as an actress to go like, I want to see how she does it, because I don't know. I know her work, but like I still don't remember Scout's preparations because I didn't get to see any of that stuff.
I think we're going to be so we're doing movies together.
Yeah,
Danielle and I are doing movies together.
Yeah.
And thank you. And we're filming our first movie in November together, where we star in it and we're directing.
We're directing together.
Wonderful.
And we play lovers.
Oh.
So you're the podcast, the directing together, starring together.
It was all about part of my plan, sitting on that couch. I was like,
really testing the boundaries of this friendship.
That was why you wanted the sleepover.
I was like, maybe we'll become girlfriends.
Listen, at 30, I was fucking around with girls, I'm just saying.
And you had one in your fucking house.
And you weren't a minor. But we have a lot of like,
there's always an excuse for Danielle.
So we're doing all this stuff. We're writing and creating all this stuff together with our friends too, that we haven't been given the opportunity to play. We've got like killer scenes together, and we're gonna start training, like fight training. We're gonna kill each other.
We're gonna fucking kill each other in this movie.
Looking forward to it. And Halloween, the first Rob Zombie was my ultimate favorite because I love the backstory. So you did great, both. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for being in this packed panel room. Thank you to the great Danielle Harris and the great Scout Taylor.
All right, everybody make noise. Ready?
Take a picture.
Everybody make noise, okay?
Hi, this is Amanda Tapping. Thanks for watching. And it doesn't matter if your reproductive organs are on the inside or the outside, you can still enjoy Fandom Spotlight. Have fun and follow your fandom.